All right, man. So I finally graduated, and it has been a crazy journey for me to get to this point. It has been so much crazy shit going on. I actually finally did it, even though I never thought I was gonna do it. Never. And I'm about to tell you my story from beginning to end, and you might relate to this story too. And then after, I'm gonna talk about what I'm gonna do after high school and what are my plans. So if you do not know what to do after high school, this can be a good guide. So the reason why I say it's a crazy journey is because I feel like my journey is slightly different from everybody else's. Obviously, I started school freshman year, everything was perfectly fine. Sophomore year, everything was perfectly fine. But then junior year, that is when I completely just started hating school. I started watching videos about the reasons why school exists, which is to make workers, right? Not thinkers. Because school, at the end of the day, does not really educate you how I think school should be educating the next generation. So after watching a bunch of videos like that, a bunch of rich people making money, not going to school, they dropping out, obviously it's gonna influence me. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's true. You don't need school at the end of the day in order for you to become successful, or in order for you to make money. You do not need school. So all of these thoughts started creeping into my head, and me realizing, and just me coming into reality. And that's when I'm like, dude, I want to drop out. Because not only that, that's when I also started my YouTube channel. And I was like, this is what I want to do, right? I want to become a YouTuber. This is what I want to do. And I do not need school in order to do this. I don't need a high school diploma. I don't need none of that in order to just have a YouTube channel. So during that time, I would skip school for weeks, for days on end. I would skip school. I would not go at all. And the days that I would go, I wouldn't do shit. I would sit in the classroom doing absolutely nothing. I just hated being there. Because during that time, like I said, I was really motivated into becoming a YouTuber. That was the only thing I was thinking about. So most of the days I would skip school, I would skip in McDonald's or something, and I would be scripted, and I would be thinking of YouTube ideas, and then I would come home and record and stuff like that. So that was the only thing in my head. That was the only thing. I wanted to become a YouTuber. That's the only thing I wanted to do. So anything else that does not correlate to that, I didn't care. I fucking hate, and school is so draining. Like, you're in the classroom and you just, it drains you, your energy. As soon as you get home, you just want to chill. It's just so draining. It's so useless. It's such a waste of time. Those were my thoughts during that time. And I would go back and forth with my teacher counselor, and he would always tell me, "Hey, you have like 3 classes to focus on. If you just do these 3 classes, you'll be good. You'll pass, and everything will be perfectly fine." And I will tell him, "You know what? 3 classes, I can do that. I can manage those 3 classes." And I will tell him, "Yes, I'll do it. I'll focus on the 3 classes so I can pass." Few weeks later, I wouldn't focus on shit, and I would go right back to skipping school, hating it, and doing whatever. So it was literally that. It was just me going back and forth. When I would go to the school, I would tell him, "You know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do these classes." But then a few weeks later, I would stop going, stop showing up, and just disappear. And then that one day I come back, it was just that cycle. It just kept happening. So that was the entirety of my junior year. So I definitely failed some classes. So I ended up going to summer school. And in summer school, obviously, I was also missing. I wouldn't I would barely show up. So I ended up failing some classes also in summer school. So when my senior year started, I got this advice that I can transfer to another school. And another school that is night school, which starts in the afternoon. It will start at 3. No, it will start at 4 and it would end at 8. So basically 4 hours of class time, which is way less than me going in the morning, which was 6 hours. Because another thing that I hated about the school that I was going to, I would get classes I wouldn't need. In order for me to graduate, they would give me electives, right? They would give me classes that had no effect into my graduation. Because the core classes that you need, math, English, social studies, stuff like that. Realistically, all I had to do was pass 2 to 3 classes. Everything else that was in my schedule, I didn't need. So literally, they were just stealing my time. Why the hell would I go 3 extra hours or 2 extra hours for shit I do not need at all? Zero. Not even to graduate. I don't fucking need those classes. So that was another big issue for that school, right? So once they gave me that advice that I can graduate, they gave me that info. I was like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll try it. I was like, you know what? I'll transfer schools because the idea of starting school at 4 p.m., that was a more attractive schedule for me. And second of all, they was going to give me the classes I actually needed in order to graduate. No filler, no electives, no random classes that I didn't need. So I was like, you know what? I'll try it. So I ended up going and I actually liked it there. I genuinely liked that school. The first day I went, it was just super chill, super calm, super relaxed. The teachers over there were not on your ass. They were also just very chill. That's the work that they would give you. It was just easy. It was just very easy. So basically, everybody that went there kind of had the same story of them, of they also wanted to drop out, but they ended up going there and they stayed there. So that school was way better. Both the schedule, like I said, and the work, the teachers, just the vibe in that school was just way better. You would get this feeling of they actually care about me because they actually wanted to help you with your schedule, whatever you needed, they got you. With work, the teachers were very flexible. If you had an issue, they got you. If you miss a few days here and there due to whatever happens, they got you. When I would speak to my counselors, it felt like they actually wanted to help me. In the schools, the first school I was going to in the morning, you didn't feel this level of help. It felt like they didn't give a fuck about you, giving you shit you don't need. And when you speak to the counselors, they don't really try to help you. They just try to motivate you, if anything, so you can get back in track. But they wouldn't actually give you solutions. You know how many times I heard, "Oh, just pass these 3 classes. You got this." I don't need motivation. I need solution. I need you to give me a solution that can actually help me. So once I ended up going to the school, I stayed there. I actually liked it there. I ended up going. I ended up doing the work. It was very chill. It was very calm. And then I went to summer school, which was this summer, August. That's why I'm graduating in August because I had to go to summer school. And it was just so chill, bro, that I ended up fucking graduating. I fucking did it. Somebody that went through an entire school year of just back and forth, saying yes, I'm gonna do it, and then not fucking doing anything. When I go to it, dude, you don't understand, but it's crazy. So one thing I want you to get out of this, my little story, is changing your environment is extremely important into anything, because that school, that environment, was not for me, was horrible. I hated that environment. I hated that school. Everything about it was just disgusting to me. So therefore, I didn't want to get my high school diploma. That idea of getting it was nasty. But then changing to another school, changing to a whole different environment, I think was the key. So in reality, it wasn't as much as, oh, the high school diploma, I don't want to get it. It was just more of the school was dog shit. The environment. There was less friction in that environment. It was just so easy for you to do everything. If it's harder for you to do certain stuff, you're not gonna want to do it. But if it's easy, if it's chill, if it's calm, you will be like, you know what, I'll do it. Cause why not? It's easy. I'll just be like, oh, well, whatever, I'll do it. That's literally with anything. Anything and everything you can think of. Let's say that you want to develop the habit of working out and you're motivated for the first week, which this is what usually happens. You're motivated for the first week, and then the second or third week, you don't want to go. And then you start hating working out. You're like, oh, I fucking can't work out. I don't like it. And you start building a negative relationship with working out. Well, it might not. Well, the reason might not be working out itself. It might just be how there's so much friction for you to do it. Because if your gym is an hour away, if it's 30 minutes away, if you have to do this long commute to work out, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate the process of work. You're gonna hate to go there. Another thing that can affect that is in your house. You can set up your running shoes in front of the door. You can set up a reminder in front of the door that constantly reminds you, hey, you should work out. It's just little things that you can tweak about your environment that can make you do certain things way easier. Just make it easy for yourself. Literally, in any context, anything, make things easier for yourself. And you will most likely do it, whether you don't like the thing or not. That's one thing I want you to get out of this video. Extremely important. Because that lesson really taught me that environment plays a huge role into the things that you do and do not do. So keep that in mind. All right, so now my goals after high school, right? So what I did is I'm going to trade school. I'm already enrolled in trade school. And right now the trade that I went into is electrician. That's what caught my interest. So I'm not entirely sure whether I'm gonna stay there or not. So I'm gonna, go to the trade school and stay in that trade for a week or two and see how it goes. If everything goes well and I actually end up liking whatever is being presented to me, then I'll stay. But let's say I don't and the interest is not there, then I might not stay there. I might switch. But I already have a plan, which is to go to school. And my goal is to go to school, and while I go to school, to work on this YouTube channel, to work on building a community here on YouTube. Those are the two things I want to do. This story might be different from other teenagers or other people that just finished graduating, because 9 times out of 10 you're gonna hear, oh, I'm gonna move out, I'm gonna get a new car, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. That's not my plan. Because realistically right now, if I were to get a car, I would not be able to afford it. The expenses of a car and the hassle of a car are way too much for me right now. And a lot of people do not think about that. And moving out, dude, a few months ago, a year ago, I had this rush of moving out. I really wanted to get the fuck out of my house and just move out. But now, after thinking about things, I don't really want to move out no more. I don't care about moving out. Do you know the hassle and the expenses and the mental drainage that comes with moving out? It's a lot, and people don't think like that. So those are just my two goals. Just work on this YouTube channel and go to trade school. That's it. Whether I have a job or not gonna lie, I don't even care no more. Back then, I had this rush of getting a job, getting a 9 to 5, and making money. Right now, I don't really care about having a job. I just want to focus on those two things, which is the most important: trade school and YouTube channel. That's it. I don't give a fuck about a job. I don't give a fuck about a car. I don't give a fuck about a house. I don't give a fuck about nothing else that is not those two things. That is my goal after high school. Very simple, huh? Another very important thing is that please do not get influenced by the internet, because I did. When you watch all of these videos of people making money very young, at 16, 17, 18, it just motivates you to stop going to school. You start getting the idea of, oh, I hate school. And the idea of, oh, I need to figure something out. I need to make money. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to get into this business. It's like you start worrying about too many things too fast. Because that's what happened to me. I was watching all of these videos on drop shipping, on e-commerce store. I don't even know if they're the fucking same. I don't care. I was watching videos about investing into the stock market, using Shopify. I was watching videos on a bunch of different ways to make money. That is not something you should be worrying about. At 16, 17, 18, you're worrying about too many things. I'm going to tell you right now, if I would have dropped out to do this YouTube channel stuff, it wouldn't have been worth it. You want to know why? Look at my YouTube channel right now. I have 50 subscribers and barely views. And remember, junior year was a whole year ago. A whole year ago, I had like what, 20 subscribers or 10? I don't even know how many I had, but I didn't have a lot. Second of all, I was uploading once a week with horrible everything. I was making bad content a whole year ago. My content was horrible. If I would have dropped out to focus on YouTube, it would have been a waste because YouTube was not working for me. During that time, I had nothing going on. There was no motion. I didn't have subscribers. I wasn't getting any views. I was horrible at making videos. And I wasn't really focusing on getting better. And then I was very inconsistent. Last year, I uploaded a total of 10 videos in an entire year. If I was really motivated and if that was really what I wanted to do, I wouldn't have uploaded 10 videos. I would have done way more. So another crucial advice to you is do not drop out of school unless your plan is working. My plan was not working. So if I would have dropped out, it would have been dumb and a waste of time. The only reason you should drop out if you are already seeing success from the stuff you want to do. If you want to build a business, you better be seeing success out of it. You better be getting some money. You better be getting some influence. You better get something that is worth you dropping out for, or that is worth you leaving your job for. So I'm glad I didn't drop out, because even if I did, YouTube would have gotten me anywhere. So please, I know that the internet now these days is just about making money. And if you're a teenager and if you don't make a million a year, then you're left behind. No, just chill. If you really want to build a business, if you want to become an entrepreneur, if you want to start doing Shopify, e-commerce, whatever the fuck you want to get into, make sure that it's working, that you're seeing money out of it. Then you start considering dropping out or leaving your job. And also, do not rush to do things. Even if your business, you are seeing benefit out of it, don't rush to just drop out immediately. You need to keep working on it for a few weeks, a few months, and make sure that it's actually working. Because the thing about a business is that it could do well right now, but what about tomorrow? It can completely fall off. You can completely make no money out of it. You don't know where things can go. So do not rush things as a teenager, right? Do not rush, like I said, to move out. Do not rush to get a car. I know 9 times out of 10, all of your friends around you have a car. They're telling you, bro, you don't have your license yet. You're already 19, you're already 20. You should have a license. You should have a car. No, you don't. You don't need to have a car. What you need to do is be financially stable to then get a car, but not before. You cannot get a car first when you are not going to be able to handle that. Do not rush to move out. Do not rush to drop out. Do not rush to get a job. You need to let things come at its own time, but at the same time, you need to be working towards it, right? You need to be working towards making money so then you can get a car. Just work slowly but surely. Just take baby steps towards the things you want to get done, towards the things you want to get, but don't rush it. Please do not rush things. That is my insanely three crucial advice if you're done with high school or you're about to finish high school, either next year, whatever the case may be. Please listen to these advices because I have been seeing a lot of teenagers so lost, not knowing what to do. You might be asking yourself, well, I don't know what the fuck to do after high school. I'm extremely lost. Another thing, too, slowly but surely figure things out. I honestly would not recommend you to take a gap year. That's what I wanted to do. After school, after high school, I really wanted to take a gap year and like I said, focus on YouTube. But taking a gap year, there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages. I do not recommend for you to take a gap year. Absolutely not. Because when you take a gap year, that means that you're not going to have anything to do. Even if you do have a job, it's just not it, bro. I would recommend for you to go to trade school if you don't want to go to college. If you don't want to go to college at all, I would recommend for you to at least get into trade school or get into something that can build up your skills. That's what I would recommend for you to do. If you're interested in instruments, to go to an instrument class and learn how to play an instrument, and then they can help you maybe getting into a band, and you can maybe make money off that. If you're interested in sports, get into a sports team. They can maybe help you get into an official team and that you might make money off. After high school, you must do something. You cannot just take a gap year and just chill. Even if you have a job, what the fuck are you gonna do after your job? This is how a lot of people can get lazy and can lose connections. You need to stay out there. You need to stay outside, adventuring, meeting new people, doing something with your life, and advancing yourself. The only reason I would recommend a gap year is like I was saying earlier, when something is already working, when you are already doing something that you can just go all out and it's already working. Because me going to trade school, I don't know the people that I can meet, right? I can meet a bunch of new people, a bunch of new adults like teachers, counselors. I could meet a bunch of new people that can help me into anything I want to do. If I also need advice, I could go to them, right? They are adults. They could help me with my future life or anything that I may have concerns about. They can help me. You need people around you, bro. Real shit. So do not take a gap year and limit yourself to just doing pretty much nothing. And then you're motivated, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to become a businessman or whatever the case may be. Come on, bro. Make sure that you are into something that that will benefit you, bro. So yeah, that is my little high school story. I didn't know I was gonna fucking make it, but guess what? We made it. Those are my three crucial advices for you for high school. either if you're done graduating or you're about to, whatever the case may be. Those are my three advices that you should listen to, that you should take notes on. If you want to share your story, please leave some comments down below. Tell me what are your plans after high school, and I could give you some feedback on it, on your personal little story or personal situation. But yeah, with all of that said, much love. Thank you for watching.